All right, thank you. I hope everyone's not too cold. We're doing okay? It's going to be a hot one, okay. Before I get started and introduce a little bit more about my story and how I got into YouTube, I'd love to get an idea of who is in the room. So by a show of hands, who here already has a YouTube channel? Okay. Oh, okay. Who already has a YouTube channel? Raise your hand. Who's publishing regularly? Like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks at least? Okay. And who doesn't have a YouTube channel but is interested in starting one? Okay, one more question. Is your YouTube channel, if you have one, or the one that you want to start, is it to promote an existing business, or do you want to inherently make the money on YouTube? So if it's to promote an existing business, raise your hand. If it's to make money from the YouTube platform or related income? Okay, and if it's both? Gotcha. Okay, so this is my channel, Portable Professional, and at the moment I'm teaching American seniors how to get through airport security. So it's TSA, airport hacks, and then some like in-flight tips for a comfortable flight. My ideal audience member is Todd. He is 65. He probably lives in like upstate New York, and he takes 1 to 2 trips with his family every year. And before every single trip, he is an absolute basket case. He wants to know everything he can, he wants to be prepared, and you can't blame him, because in the US, the media and the news that you're getting is always, this airline did this, TSA is now flagging this, new fee for that. So it's like a constant stream of fear and uncertainty that is being put at you. And a lot of it is very real, because if you forget one of the rules, you will get to the airport and you will not be able to board your flight. And then the thing that you saved up all your vacation time and all your money for, you can't do anymore. So it's valid, and that's the need that I'm filling with the information on the channel. Every single video is talking head, where I go through in a listicle format what I'm going to explain. So for example, the new TSA updates for February, this is what you need to know, here are the 5 things. And then I break them all down one by one. And every single video is in that format, whether it's an update or a hack or mistakes to avoid. These are just some of my most popular videos. The channel at the moment is over 300,000 subscribers, and we've had a few of these that hit 1 million views within a week of going live. And a lot of the success I would attribute that to is using the same format, always speaking to Todd in every single video, and just rinse and repeating with the business. So as you can see, like these 3 top videos, it's the same headshot. This one is red, this one is flipped. Like, I'm just reinventing what works on YouTube, following the analytics, and then posting in that. This is kind of important because, as Shane was mentioning, I was a digital nomad. It's been about 10 years now. I got a remote job as soon as I graduated from university, and I never knew that digital nomads existed. I was just suddenly working remotely, which I also never knew was a thing. And I was in Canada, and it was -30. So I thought, hey, the company doesn't know, why don't I do this from Spain? And then eventually, why don't I do this from Chiang Mai? And despite having been to over 50 countries since then, this is still my absolute favorite place in the world, and where I'll spend my Canadian winters now that we are all through the pandemic mess. So, but the big thing here is that it never needed to be YouTube. I wanted something that was going to give me that freedom, not just the freedom in location, but also the freedom to work on what I wanted to work on when I woke up in the morning. I hate video calls, so everything is completely async. I will never have meetings. And then my energy and what I feel like doing, whether it's thumbnails or scripting or sponsorship negotiations, it's always different, and I'll always be excited by at least one of them. So I always wanted that freedom to be able to lean into the things I wanted to do in that day, from where I wanted to do it from, and on my own time. And YouTube was the thing that allowed me to do that once it started gaining traction. This is important since my whole business structure, which we'll go into, you'll see it's not from a typical creator mindset. I'm not someone that's like, oh, I have this message, I cannot wait to get it out on video. The video needs to be XYZ that I'm inspired by and passionate about. It's not like that. It's like the analytics say this is working. That's exciting. I'm going to do more of that. So it could have been YouTube, it could have been a blog, it could have been whatever else. This was just what gave me these elements. Also, when I was starting, I was in a room like this at Nomad Coffee Club, and I looked around the room and I realized that I was the only woman. And it was a bunch of tech bros. And then if there was another woman that I happened to meet at one of these events, it's because she was dating or married to the tech bro that was there. So I thought I had an interesting perspective to be a solo female traveler that was also kind of living this lifestyle before it became more mainstream. So I was doing vlogging, and then I realized that I had all this footage and I absolutely hated it. I hated going through footage. I hated having my phone out while I was traveling. It took away from everything. So I completely changed the format of my channel to just do talking head style videos. Talking head style videos with a lot of stock footage, so I'm not actually having to present hardly any of it, only a couple minutes per video. I also realized that being a digital nomad, sharing about digital nomadism is not very profitable, because the only thing worse than trying to sell to a digital nomad is trying to sell to an aspiring digital nomad. So it wasn't going to get me anywhere with brands, which is when I moved away to the audience of American seniors that I have now. So the format completely changed based on what I enjoyed doing, and this evolved over 5 years of time. I never knew that this was what I was going to be doing at the very beginning. It was just 100 videos in, and then continuing to iterate to see what was sticking and what was working. I eventually thought, okay, I'm going to sell to these American seniors. That's a profitable demographic. But the only thing that was more profitable than selling to them was selling to the American companies that wanted to sell to them. So now most of my business is actually based off of sponsorships. I just put this up here to show you like an idea, I look so creepy, of what, of what the channel looks like, so you can understand, and it will make a lot more sense as I go into how I create each video with very minimal work and a lot of AI. Oopsie. Okay, the volume is not going to be on, but it's...
Oh, captions.
Yeah. So I do a little introduction that I'm speaking to on screen. I have my intro that comes up, and then we go into stock footage. And then there's a lot of like text that's going to be on the screen that's going to support it. We'll do stock footage for about a minute, then you'll see a few seconds of my face, and then it's going to be more stock footage, and that's how the video is going to go. Of my actual face, there's maybe a maximum of 2 minutes per video.
How long are the videos generally?
Between 10 and 14 minutes. So YouTube has a minimum threshold. If you want to embed ads within your videos, each video needs to be a minimum of 8 minutes. And I'll show you as well, but I have a ton of ads in all of my videos, which is what is going to help you monetize with AdSense. But if the video is 7 minutes and 59 seconds, you can only have those ads at the beginning and at the end. So I always make sure it is a minimum of 8 minutes, but then sometimes it can get up to 14. Get out of this now. Okay. So to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, these are the stats that I had from the last year that we had 2025. So from AdSense, this did pretty well. This is not normal. And if you look at it month by month, I had 1 month that was 40,000, and I had December that was 7,000. So it is an absolute roller coaster, and it is certainly not linear. Also, in terms of views, you'll see here it says about the same as January 2nd to December 31st, 2024. About the same, 14% less. So that's the other thing. The amount of views, even as the subscriber count is going up, is also not always an upward curve. So my views have been pretty flat over the last year, but that didn't hurt the monetization. What else here? Okay. In terms of the revenue breakdown, AdSense is going to account for a lot less even in 2026 than it did then. Last year was the year that I really started monetizing mostly with sponsors. Other is, well, anyone recognize this symbol? This one? MSN. MSN. So this is wild. I was approached by a company to repurpose my content on MSN, and I was like, no one watches MSN, but sure, do I need to do anything at all? And they said no. They just started putting my content on MSN. Within the first 10 days, it made $13,000 in ads. So don't sleep on MSN, especially if your audience is seniors. So that continues month over month to keep bringing in ad revenue. I have never gone on my MSN page. It exists, so yes. And then affiliate, which are always tied into my sponsorship deals. And in terms of what I actually post, I put out one newsletter every single week and then one long form video. I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Facebook, although I want to use the MSN strategy on Facebook, but I need someone else to do it. And I just focused on these single long form video every single week consistently. And when I started doing that back in 2022, a few years into building my channel, that's when everything skyrocketed. Even if I thought it was crap, sometimes I would put out a video that I thought was going to absolutely flop, and it did amazing. And the opposite has happened too, where I've put so much thought into something, and it just doesn't perform. So the big thing was being consistent every single week, no matter what. My team, I have 2 editors. I have a newsletter writer. I have a community manager, which is actually my mother. So she wanted flexible work she could do anytime, and no one has watched every single one of my videos to be able to respond to any comment the way that my mom has. So that has been amazing. I also have a graphic designer. And the reason I say graphic designer, even though all he does is my thumbnails, is because I'm still the strategy and the brain behind every thumbnail. So I have to go to him with a concept, and I truly believe the title and the thumbnail make up 80% of a video's success, and come up with it, and then I present it to him, and he designs it, which I'll show you how we do. This is what we're going to walk through to come up with one video every Sunday. I have epic in here, but like I said before, it doesn't have to be epic. I just need to post something consistently every week. We'll go through the video ideation, which ties into the packaging, which is the bulk of my time, where I spend 80% of it before any video. Before scripting, before filming, before anything, I've got 3 to 5 titles and thumbnails completely ready to go. Not just ideas, not just concepts, they're ready to go, or I'm not going to make the video. Oh yes, okay. I'm gonna run through like a ton of tools in this. I'll have this QR code in the top screen of each of the slides, but I have a guide that I put together. Some of them are affiliate links. You can use them if you want, they give you discounts. And I just explain what every tool is and then how I use it. So if you ever want to refer back to that, it'll, again, be on the screen as we go through the presentation. Okay, video ideas. Who would say this is their biggest challenge? Coming up with new ideas? No. Okay, I'm gonna ask you that at every stage. I'm curious, what is the biggest challenge? Okay. So my first method is looking at outlier score and then seeing views per hour to understand what it is that is trending at the moment. So does anyone know the outlier theory with YouTube? Are you familiar with it at all? No? Okay. An outlier is when a video is outperforming the channel's average. So if it's a 1,000 subscriber channel that usually gets 100 views on a video, then all of a sudden they have a video that has 20,000 views on it. That video is an outlier, and there's something about it that people are engaging with, and it's being pushed to broader audiences, and it is gaining traction. So those are the videos that I tend to try to look out for. So channel size, how many views they normally get, and then a video that is outperforming for their specific channel in my niche. And then views per hour is, well, maybe it's outperforming, but it's getting 1 view per hour, and maybe it's information that is no longer relevant. So this would be an example here. This one is an AI channel, and typically they get 12,000 views, 3.9 thousand views, 18,000, 2.6, and they have this video right now that is coming close to 1 million views. And what you're seeing here is the outlier score. So it's outperforming its channel's average by about 100 times, and it's still getting 41 views per hour. So this is pretty significant considering it was posted 3 months ago. So those are the type of videos that I'm looking for. And the easiest way to identify them is a tool called vidIQ, which is in the resources. I believe with their free plan, you can get the extension that's going to take your homepage, and under every video that you see, it's going to give it this outlier score, and it's going to give it the views per hour. So that's the easiest way, I think, the quickest way to identify it. I use the paid plan of vidIQ, so it might look a little bit different, and I use all of their tools. It's very affordable and it's very useful. And I can just see like 2.3, 15 times, and be able to scan easily and identify these outlier concepts and videos. This is the vidIQ platform, so they have a tab that's outliers and whatever it is that you search. So this one is TSA line. I can find outliers in my niche. And then I can also have a tab of all of my competitors and just see what videos are getting high outlier scores and what videos are getting high view counts per hour. And then I would look at these and I'd be like, okay, what is it about this title? What is it about this topic? What is it about this thumbnail that is driving people to that video? Because she has the same audience that I have. So there's something about this that I should be thinking about. If I'm gonna do a video on travel hacks, maybe my thumbnail should talk about how the headrests move up and down too, because that seems to be resonating. So it's not copying, but it's getting inspiration from it. 1 of 10 platform is just another way, like vidIQ, that you can find outliers. So they give you the outlier score on all of your videos as well. It does the same thing as vidIQ. These are just 2 tools. I use them both. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Number 2 is AI channels. These, when they exploded over the last year, at first I was pretty pissed off because I kept seeing these AI channels that were taking my videos that were doing well and then recreating them and giving me the most unflattering recreation. And then sometimes their videos were doing even better than my original videos were. So they were taking my exact scripts. In some cases, the creator was nice and would remix the scripts. But in other cases, it was word for word my exact content, my exact concept, my exact title, and the video was being published. And YouTube would always just say, look, there's too many of these. We can't do anything about it. We're actively monitoring the situation. Nothing was done. But then I started to realize that, oh, these AI channels, and there's many of them in the travel niche, are taking my best videos and recreating them. And they're doing the same thing to all of my competitors. So I went onto their channel, and I took their best videos, and I recreated them. And this video is now at 1.8 million views, and it hit 1 million views within 5 days of going live. Because I realized every AI channel was using the same concept and a very similar title, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this thing with these gel shoe inserts and put it up, and it did amazing. So.
I watched it.
Oh yeah.
In that first 5 days.
Yeah. So it was just flipping this model on its head. So whatever the AI content creators in your niche are doing, they're probably onto something. They're getting their data from somewhere. So you can look at them and use them to your advantage. Method 3. I promise every section of how I create YouTube videos is not as thorough as this ideation section. I have a second account. And on this account, I'm just following every big channel in my niche. I don't really watch things on it. But when I feel overwhelmed and I just don't have any ideas and I don't want to dive into 100 new tools, I will go on my fake YouTube account and just scroll the homepage. I have the free vidIQ resource on this as well, so it will show me like if there's anything that's really standing out. And I'll use this just to get ideas and find those outliers again. I also use the search bar on this. I think this is one of the most underrated free ways to find titles and to find video ideas. If you just pull up the search bar, and it's going to autofill what other people are searching for on the channel. So I use this all the time as well as I'm trying to craft titles or even just coming up like with an idea or the angle that I want to use on an upcoming video.
Where would you use that search field? Would it be within the competitors' accounts or just the general?
In my alternative fake account where I'm following all of my competitors. Yeah, So I don't know if it bases things on my own search history. I'm not so sure how it all works, but it still gives me inspiration, and I find that it's like very helpful in seeing what is being searched for, because it matches up with keywords in Google Trends too. Okay, and then method 4 is I recreate the top performing videos on my channel. Not just the ones that have gotten the most views, but I'll also go through my real-time analytics, and I'll just see what is getting views per hour now. So this one, travel outfits not to wear, that video is about a year old, and it's still getting 4,000 views in the last 48 hours. Okay, maybe it's time to recreate an updated version of that one. Yes, okay, so now that I have the video idea and a rough plan on what the initial thumbnail and title concept is going to be, I'll then move on to like the packaging and the scripting, where I'm going to come up with 3 to 5 additional title and thumbnail combinations that I could launch a video with, again, before I've even fully decided that I'm going to make the video. So this is where I rule out different ideas if I can't come up with at least 3 different ways to package it, so I can ABC test them later on. And the reason I do it in combination with the scripting is because once I come up with these 3 to 5 title and thumbnail ideas, I'm going to want to build those ideas into my script so that it's not like clickbaiting, where I don't actually address whatever it was that I was teasing in the thumbnail. Because the worst is if you have a video all ready to go, then you come up with a great title and thumbnail, but you're like, it doesn't really relate, it's not, I didn't exactly say that, and then people get angry, and you usually shouldn't use it. So that's why scripting is all done at the same time. The first way that I come up with these extra ideas is, like I mentioned, is doing the outliers and the views per hour. So we already went over that. The second way is I go on my own channel, and then I check the videos that I made in the past on a similar topic, because a lot of mine is TSA updates February 2025, TSA updates February 2026, right? It's going to be the same format, and a lot of the info is the same, so I'll repackage it and then add in any updates. So I'll go through and I'll copy and paste all of the comments under that similar video that I already had, and then I will put them into Poppy, which is the AI tool that I use. I'll go into it more after, but you can do this in ChatGPT or Claude or any AI tool that you're using, and just ask for things like, here's a massive list of comments on a recent video. What are the 5 main themes that are coming up? What are the 5 questions? Like, just these kind of things to understand maybe what I was missing in the original video, or maybe to understand what like struck a chord, what was of interest, what I should put at the very beginning of the video, because front loading it with the most important information is also going to help you with retention. If someone is going to watch the first minute, they're probably going to watch the next minute and the next minute and so on. It's that first like 30 seconds that matters. So if you can lead with a strong point, it's going to help your video. And then the other way that I'll come up with what I might put in a title, in a thumbnail, and what I'll definitely put in the script is by looking at the retention graph on that previous video that I posted. So any of these are little like dips that go up, and there's spikes in retention. So whatever it is that I said here and whatever it is that I said here caught people's attention. So maybe it was something in the script, maybe it was a visual that I was showing on the screen. So for example, a lot of times I'll see spikes like this when I show things like the official TSA 311 liquids rules. When I put those on the screen, people will pause and read it. So I know, okay, I need to keep including the actual rules on the screen. And the really cool thing is that if you don't have a channel with 500 videos that you are recreating over and over again like mine, you can do all of this on anyone's channel, and it takes no plugins, no nothing. So you can find the video that you want to create something similar to, you can copy and paste all the comments under their video, and you can ask the same questions. Also, any account on YouTube that you have, assuming the video has enough views with no plugins, all you have to do is hover near the bottom of the video, and when this bar comes up, it's going to show you their retention graph. So when I discovered that, it was like mind blown. So you can go on any video and see like, okay, what was he talking about here? That's a spike. What was he talking about at the end here? Like the fact that this got such a spike in retention in the last minute of the video, what was going on there? So that's another way that I'll figure out titles, thumbnails, and what should be included in the script.
Question. Like, matching the retention graph and the words that were said,
Mm-hmm.
are you doing that manually, or is Poppy AI or anything like that
No.
doing it for you?
And nothing's doing it for me. In that sense, I'm just hovering over. I'm like very quickly able to, you can pull out usually pretty quickly if there are spikes in retention, and then I'm finding exactly what was said there, going to the screen, the timestamp of it, and then checking it out and either making a note to include it in the script or getting rid of it.
And when you were showing the thumbnail, like, how much thought are you putting between the thumbnail text and the title?
A lot.
Is it complementary or reinforcing? Like, is it opposing?
Yeah, one sec. I think it's actually, this kind of gets into that, so let me address this.
Can I ask about the spikes? How is it possible that there are some spikes in the retention?
So someone may have skipped to a timestamp, or they may be pausing the video at that point. Okay, so this is the system that I use inside Poppy. And what Poppy is, does anyone use Poppy? Okay. It's kind of like a visual whiteboard AI tool. And it includes Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. Like, it has everything built into it. So you only pay for the Poppy subscription, and you have AI chats that can swap between any of the ones that you like to use. So you can put AI chats, but then you can drag in any form of media. So I could put a YouTube video in here, a screenshot, an Instagram reel, anything that I want, and it's able to read the information from that and then be able to answer questions based on it without hallucinating. So what I have here is the tool that I use to do my title and thumbnails. I have it included as a template if you guys just want exactly what I have. It's in the link up there. But essentially, first I do a competitor analysis where I put screenshots of the top 12 videos from all of my competitors in here. And then I put screenshots of my top videos in here. And I use this prompt that I have, I copy and paste, and it gives me an idea of what it is specifically about the titles and about the thumbnails, whether it's the text on them or the topics that they're covering, everything in my niche that is consistent across all of the different channels that I have on there, including my own. So once I have that as just a single PDF document, I drag it into here, and here I have thumbnail best practices and title best practices. I think I've taken every course on titles and thumbnails. I listened to every podcast, everything, and I was able to just download all the courses, all the best YouTube videos that I found on the topic, and create like a single guide for both of them. These two guides are way too long. I do not like reading them. I do not like going through them. But by adding them to this group, anything that I say in this chat is going to reference the best practices on titles and thumbnails. These are prompts that I have. So a title generation prompt, a thumbnail generation prompt, and a title thumbnail combination prompt if I don't have either of those in place originally. And yeah, so I have my own info that I add to this. I copy and paste the title prompt in here. I copy and paste my script or my video idea, and it's going to generate specific titles and thumbnail combinations that work for my channel and within my niche. And that's how I come up with what is going to be the thumbnail text and what is going to be the title text. In terms of the titles and the thumbnail text, there's often three core psychological elements that creators will play on. So there's fear, there's desire, and there's curiosity. Another one that I like to play with is urgency, just since someone has a trip coming up and there's new rules and things are changing. So a lot of that is built into these guides on how those are used. So a big one that I like is curiosity when I'm trying to move away from the fear and urgency. So it doesn't necessarily have a positive spin, but I don't want everything on my channel to be negative, even though I find the negative often gets the most views, unfortunately. So I'll lean into curiosity. And in that sense, the title, okay, the one I have this weekend, it's TSA upgrades, in quotations, are making airport security worse for travelers. It's going to be something like that. And then the thumbnail's probably going to be not allowed anymore with a question mark. So it plays with the title. They're like, okay, something is worse. I'm going to show an upgrade, like a new CT scanner inside the thumbnail, and then I'm going to play off of that curiosity with an element of text. So the title and the thumbnail have to work well together, and the way I do that is always going to be a little bit different. It just depends on if I'm playing on curiosity, fear, urgency. But the curiosity play is like the biggest one and the one that I like to lean into most. In terms of actually creating these thumbnails, this is where my graphic designer comes into play. I use Canva for everything, and I will put a concept together that looks kind of like this, or like this, and then he will make it look more visually appealing for YouTube. I often have the red and the yellow, but I think I need to change some of this because a lot of the AI channels are in my niche now are using these same color combinations, so this may change. But that is how we create them. Is anyone using Canva? Yeah.
You started playing around with Nano Banana.
Yes.
AI features.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that compared to Canva?
How does it what?
What are your thoughts compared to Canva? I haven't used Canva for a while, so I'm not sure if they've added any AI capabilities.
Yeah, so I use Nano Banana for the actual image generation, and then I use Canva to do any further editing on it or to get the concepts to my graphic designer. So Canva is kind of like the storage place and where I put all the pieces together, but all the pieces typically come from Nano Banana. Yeah. Okay, so I use it to generate all the background images for any of my thumbnails at this point. I have a specific prompt that's going to make it like a bright, natural lighting, airport scene, realistic TSA officers with the blue gloves and the blue shirts and their badge. So I reuse these prompts, and a lot of them look kind of like this, and then they generate the image. So creating those prompts one time up front, since the style of my channel is pretty consistent, has been game-changing for time. It also creates a lot of the images when I'm trying to explain something during a video, but I can't quite find the right image online for it or the stock image for it. I took this course called Mood Board Method by Design Hacker. It's, again, like in the resource up there. And this is one that helps you do branding for your business using AI. It was $99, I think, when I bought it. But what I did is I bought it because it had a library of prompts in Notion, and it still has them. And there's about 100 of them that will take any image that you upload and then perfectly recreate your bone structure, everything, into the exact scene that you need. So instead of having to sit, which I hate doing, in front of my camera and be like, right? And I can just have it create all the expressions for me that I need or any of the scenes that I need. So the $99, even though I haven't actually taken the course, just having the library of prompts that I can copy and paste and then upload with my headshot into Nano Banana has been game changing. So that's how I use it.
Well, can I ask, what's the interaction or relationship between you and doing all of this back-end stuff, like graphics design? Like, what does the graphic designer add?
So I give him the basic concept, right? So he adds this to this. Yeah. Okay, Notebook LM. Anyone? Yeah? Okay, good. This one I actually only started using about 2 weeks ago, but I have been loving it. So I realized you can clone an entire YouTube channel, and then it's going to pull information just from whatever information has been uploaded. So this is the superpower of Notebook LM. It's not pulling information from all over the internet. It's only going to pull information from what you've uploaded. So I found a YouTube video that taught you how to clone YouTube videos and channels and put them in Notebook LM, and he was doing it for Alex Hermosi for business advice, which is also probably a very good idea. But I did it for my own channel. Because again, a lot of my videos are rinse and repeat from things that I've done in the past. So if I'm doing an airport hacks video, at some point over the last 5 years, I've done, 25 airport hack videos. I can say, pull up every airport hack that has ever been mentioned in these scripts. And it will just give all of them to me, and I'm like, okay, here's 100 to pick from. And then I can create a new video based around those. And it's not a copy of what I did in the past, but why let all of that go to waste? I did a ton of work in scripting those. It's all in my voice, and it's all information that I would say. So that's how I'm using Notebook LM at the moment. And I have Google Workspace that I pay for, but I don't pay for Notebook LM independently. So I'm not sure if you can do this on a free plan or if it's included in what I have.
You can, by the way. Yeah,
Free plan?
Yeah.
Oh, up to 50 links, right?
I don't know how many links, but quite a lot.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Awesome. Yep, so for free. Okay. The side note is the infographic tab. This blew my mind. A couple weeks ago, I was creating a video on medications going through TSA, And I had the script uploaded as a video in one of these, and I used the infographic tab to create this. And there's no spelling errors, there's no like smudges, there's nothing. It was ready to use, and I was able to generate it in 1 minute, and then in another minute, put it up as a lead magnet page, and then have it under my videos to help build my newsletter, which I'll talk about a little bit more later on, how important that has been to me. But yeah, so the fact that Notebook LM can do that on a free plan is crazy. Okay, and then scripting. We're almost done. I use Poppy for scripting as well. Since a lot of my videos have official information from the airlines and from the official TSA website, I'll put all the information that I possibly want to reference in one group, and then you can like do a little line like these and connect it to the AI chat. I'll also put here George Blackman scripting techniques. I took his course, and he just has awesome like retention, hooks, titles, all of that. That's also why this is called Blackman scripting. But it's all because of George Blackman and his tips. So they're all in here. And then my past video scripts are here, as well as just like a guide to my voice. So don't use M dashes. Don't try to sound cool by using words like journey and all these fancy things. It's just kind of the things that I normally say to support the scripts that I also have uploaded. And then I'll put in my rough draft of my outline that I usually generate from Notebook LM. So I'd copy and paste the 10 hacks that I wanted to cover, for example, here. And it will fully script my 8 to 14 minute video exactly in my tone, exactly in my structure, using the best practices and the hook best practices, and only referencing the information that I put in there. So it's going to be up-to-date TSA airline information, and this is so important since the whole point of my channel is that I create long-form videos that are building trust. I need these American seniors that are watching, when they have a question or they need to know something, new information, they come to me and they trust me and they want my advice and they want my recommendations, and they believe that I'm going to explain it to them in a simple way, but with accurate information. So that's key for delivering the promise to them, but that's also been key in my sponsorships. Right? If you're vlogging, it's a different viewer if you're coming for entertainment, but they're coming for education, specifically for my recommendations and my advice, which leads to very high click-through rates on the products and the services that I recommend, and very high conversions for my sponsors, which is why I'm able to charge high rates and have long-term partners, because they're getting the ROI when they partner with me. So Poppy's been amazing for doing that as well. Okay, this is my 3-script strategy. So with everything that we've covered so far, what I get out of Poppy is this exact script that I will read over, but it's almost always ready to film. And I do not want to sit in front of a camera and speak for 25 minutes to get my 8 to 14 minutes of final footage. It is exhausting, and if I can avoid it, I avoid it. So I do. What you see here are the bolded sections. These are sections that I will say to the camera, and the rest of it is going to be all voiceover. So for every single video, I have, again, a maximum of 2 minutes. I'm in it at the beginning, I'm in it at the end, and then I pop in it randomly throughout. So script number 1 is the full script, which I give to my editor. Script number 2 is script for EL, which is 11 Labs, which is a voice clone tool. So this was a bold move, and not something I openly share too often, is that I have voice cloned my voice in 11 Labs, and it does the whole voiceover for me. Previously, I would sit down and just record the whole thing, but now I'm able to completely cut that out, and I'm able to do things like come to Chiang Mai for 2 months, not bring my recording gear with me, and add in sentences, change up scripts, do all of that, as long as I've filmed my talking head before I leave home. So yeah, I use 11 Labs for that. It's been amazing. And I launched it on the channel, the first video, and one of the first comments that I got under, I was so nervous people were going to pick up that it wasn't actually me, was, wow, this is so refreshing. She has such a unique voice, so nice compared to all the AI content that's out there. And I was like, oh, okay. It was, yeah, so it nailed it. It was so good. So I've been using that consistently for months now. And then the third script in my 3-script strategy here is like one big document that I'll put together all the talking head sections that I have. So I'll do that for about 8 videos. I'll have 8 videos that are fully scripted like this, 8 of them that are being run through 11 labs, and then 8 of them that have just these bolded sections, so I can sit down in front of my camera and I can run off the 2 minutes for one, the 2 minutes for the next, the 2 minutes for the next, changing outfits in between. So it's a little bit of variation, and that's the script that I will use to film. The other thing is that I work with partners long term. I will only work with a partner if they will agree to a minimum of 3 videos. This helps everyone. It builds more trust with the audience. If I'm talking about the same things over and over again, it's going to deliver higher ROI for the brand in the end, because those conversions often don't come on the very first mention. And then it also spreads out the risk, because as much effort as I put into every video, some videos are going to flop and some are going to do well. If we do 3 videos, there's a very good chance at least one of those is going to do quite well for you. But I don't always have these sponsorships negotiated up front before I film 8 videos. So what I'll end up doing is, okay, this one is Unbound Merino, a clothing brand that I often work with. It could probably fit pretty well in this in-flight hacks video. So while I'm filming my few bolded lines, I'll also film something like, and that's exactly why I've partnered with Unbound Merino on this video. Something like that, and then a call to action for them as well, and maybe some other random line. I might also, in the same video, film something similar for, and that's exactly why you need an eSIM before you take any international trip. And that's why I've partnered with Saley, or whatever it is. I may not use these lines, but I have them in my back pocket now if I haven't negotiated the sponsorship, so that even while I'm in Chiang Mai without my camera, without my mics, without anything, I could insert them into the videos in a very natural way, and that could be an extra $15,000 on that video that I wouldn't have had if I didn't have an opportunity to put that sponsor in. So.
Is there a new thing with YouTube where you can swap out the sponsor?
Yes, I haven't used it yet. So there's, it's a new way of doing integrations where you could have a video live on the channel and then you could insert like a 60-second integration after it's already been public, and then you could swap that out. So you could take your entire backlog of videos, for example, and offer that to your sponsors and say, hey, do you want to go live? This one's still getting views per hour. We can put you in at the 1-minute mark here. So you are able to do that. I just haven't done it yet. But it's definitely an interesting new opportunity, and it is going to change the way that sponsorships are negotiated. And as brands are catching on to it, I'm sure it's going to be asked for as well. So I need to get up to speed on that one.
That's already launched?
It's launched. I don't think it's launched to all creators. Another thing is that even though my audience is American, I'm Canadian, and I get all the new YouTube features like 6 months after the Americans do. So I don't know. It depends on where your YouTube channel is based, on what features are getting rolled out, as well as the size. They roll things out on a strange basis. So I don't think I have access to it yet, but even if I do, I just haven't explored it. A lot of my sponsors also want unique integrations for every single one that goes live, as opposed to this, which would be more like an ad segment that's being placed in, as opposed to something that would be like unique for each video. Almost done. Okay, so for my 2 editors, what I do is I upload inside of the idea of the video. I will give them the full script that has the bolded segments, and it has the voiceover sections as well, all in order of where they belong. I'll also upload the voiceover track separately, and I'll upload the talking head track for that specific video. So I'm not cutting anything together myself. He knows by following the script where everything is supposed to go. I will additionally put together a Canva file for him if there's like specific things that I'm referencing in the video, whether it's a news article or an update from the TSA that the editor may not find on their own, or there's something that I just want placed in it. I will put them in a Canva file, typically in order of where they go, and he's pretty good at knowing where to put them. And then once he sends me the first draft of the video, I will upload it into Frame. Frame is fantastic. I've been using this tool for years. Once the video is uploaded in Frame, I'm able to just go through it and leave specific timestamps with the edits that I want made or changes. So if there's something that I wanted him to show on the screen that wasn't there, I would also just put in the comments something like, page 22, page 26. And I'll just keep adding to that Canva file, because I'll come up with new things that I want as well, and then just reference the page of what I want there. Or things like change the volume, crop in, make Ollie have a little speech bubble that says I'm cute or something, like just whatever it is. And Frame has been game-changing as opposed to emailing my editor 0012, 02, like with all the timestamps of the changes that need to be made. Okay. When it comes to publishing, I use the upload defaults that are in the settings. If you don't have this enabled and you're publishing videos, do it. Go into your settings, go into upload defaults, and then anything that you put here is going to, by default, come up in your unlisted video before you publish it. So I always have my title ideas, and it reminds me I need to put my 3 of them in there as I'm uploading. I have the sponsor link. The guy that's doing my newsletters at the moment is also now doing my descriptions. So by having this like default template for him always being uploaded, it's been really helping with the learning curve of him taking that over for me. This is ads. So I used to put in, I don't know, like 3 ads in a video because I didn't want to drive people away. Typically, YouTube is by default going to have an ad at the beginning and at the end of your video. And I add in my own manual ads pretty much every minute on the minute. And over the last 3 years, this has increased. I was like, okay, I'm going to add 4 in and see if it hurts the video views or retention or anything, or if people start complaining about the ads, and no one complained. So I added 5, and then 6, and then 7. And now it's evolved to this every minute on the minute, and it's been that way for the last 2 years. I never saw any change in the views. When I added ads, all I saw was my YouTube AdSense revenue continuing to skyrocket in direct correlation. Because also, I mean, YouTube wants people on the platform, right? But they also want to make money. And if ads are being shown, that's YouTube, Google is making money from that, and they're giving me a portion of it. So my channel is just more profitable for them and not driving away any views. So if you're shy about adding ads, I would say try it. And then the other thing is A/B testing. This is why I have those 3 to 5 thumbnails and titles. YouTube has its own built-in A/B test tool. It only launched within the last, I don't know, 6 months or so. It may not be on everyone's channel, and I'm not sure if your channel needs to be monetized for you to have access to it. I'm not sure. But I will upload my different options and let the test run. And it's going to base it based on watch time share. So not which one has the highest click-through, but what is getting the longest amount of watch time. And then it doesn't give you any other data. It's just going to tell you which one. This is not a great example because there's not a huge difference. I mean, it's decently significant, but sometimes I'll put this on here and I'll see 30% and 70%. But it's not giving me any other data. So, oh, I didn't have a slide for it. There's another tool that I use that's in the resource. It's called thumbnailtest.com. And that one gives you a ton of data. It shows you like the click-through rate, the number of impressions, the specific watch time, how many subscribers it gave you. You can test dozens of combinations of thumbnails and titles or just thumbnails. I think it's $10 to $15 a month, and I use that one pretty religiously as well. I've been trying to use the new YouTube built-in tool, but I still find myself going back to thumbnailtest.com because I want to see more than just the watch time. And sometimes it continues to shock me about which video titles, which video thumbnails end up outperforming the others. So I'm always learning from that as well, and then I'm able to apply those learnings the next time I make a video go live.
Can I ask a question? What's your strategy once you get that data back? Because I noticed the 2 thumbnails, there were quite a few variables. So what's your strategy for?
Yeah, so like in a case like this, I'm just gonna publish this one. Yeah, because the title's the same and I'm only testing the thumbnail here. So it's like, okay, it's not super significant, but it's slightly better. It's probably not gonna make or break the video either way. I'll go with that one.
So these are pre-published?
Yes, this is the video live. So once the video is live, it's running this test as it starts getting views, and that's where the data comes from. Yeah.
What other things can you A/B test, or only just the thumbnail?
The title and the thumbnail. Yeah. And then looking ahead, I mentioned at the beginning that I'm not on Instagram or TikTok or doing shorts or any of this. I'm posting one long form video every single week. And I think I've gotten pretty good at that. I've obsessed over it because it's the only thing that I've focused on. But the platform keeps on changing. And there was a very significant change that actually happened in the fall. And you guys might recognize it. So this is what the YouTube homepage looks like right now. And many long form creators are not happy. So what we used to see here would be about 12 long form videos that would come up on your homepage. And that would be exposure for 12 different videos, probably 12 different channels. And then the viewer has an option to pick between them on what they want to watch. And they can discover your channel. My videos are mostly discovered through browse. But if someone's homepage is now 3 videos and then a wall of shorts, and I don't have any shorts, they're not even getting the opportunity to see my channel. They're not even getting the opportunity to watch my video because it's not being presented to them. This has been actually extremely discouraging because I've seen my views just dropping over the last few months. And no matter how hard I try, no matter how many thumbnails I'm testing, I'm like, why are these videos just not working for me? And then I dove deeper into the analytics, and the click-through was fantastic. I had like some of my highest click-through rates that I've had on videos in the last few months than I've had on the channel's history. And the retention is also amazing. So my sponsors are still happy even though the views are lower because they're still getting a ton of retention over their ad slots and they're still getting those conversions. But I'm like, this kind of sucks. I want to have 1 million views again on this video. So I'm realizing that I need to change my strategy because the way that I would show up in browse before, I'm not. So now I am looking into launching shorts that are going to accompany every video. They're not going to be just chopped up from the long form video. Instead, they're going to be unique. So my editor has the talking head sections from every video, and then I'm rerunning a 30-second script that somehow matches the talking head sections that I already have to a unique short, and they're building those together. So we will start launching those this weekend, actually, just to see if we can get a little bit more visibility, because now shorts are the thing. And this may change again. The algorithm's always changing, and it could hurt my views, it could help them, but that's also why I need to diversify and come up with new ways. Another way is collaborations. So YouTube launched collaborations recently where the video will end up showing up on both channels of the 2 people that are collaborating on it, and then it's going to just give exposure for my videos to their audience and vice versa. So that's something else that I'm exploring with creators in my niche. And then the other thing is my email newsletter. So in terms of affiliate revenue, which is about 10% of the revenue that we earn through the business, almost all of that comes from the newsletter. It's not the description of all the videos that I'm posting each week. It's from the newsletter that goes out to about 25,000 travelers with a 75% open rate. And that's where the majority is coming through, and that's definitely huge value for my sponsorships as well. So I used to think like, I have a 300,000 channel subscriber, YouTube subscriber channel, and a $25,000 newsletter. Like, this is tiny potatoes. It's not really going to be bringing in much, but it continues to show me how much it does. So being able to do things like use Notebook LM to generate a lead magnet like that medication one, and have that up and just have that as the top link if that video is going unsponsored, is game-changing, because that's bringing in thousands of new subscribers to the newsletter. So if my channel is hacked, if I get shadow banned, if whatever happens to YouTube, this is something that I own. Those 300,000 subscribers, I have no way of contacting them. They have no way of contacting me. Any of that is being built is dependent on the platform. So newsletter, start building it right from the very beginning would be definitely my advice on that one. And that is everything. This is the document, again, with everything that I went through. Some of them are affiliate links, some of them are not. Some of them will give you discounts. You don't have to use it, but it just kind of walks through the things I explained and then gives you my specific use cases as well. And that's all.
We have a few questions, but if you can just repeat the question so it gets on the... When someone asks a
Yeah, I'm like,
just
what question? Okay. Yeah.
2 questions. So you mentioned the building the email list. I actually had a channel we used to have 12,000 subs and it got terminated, so definitely agree, like get those email addresses. What are you using Kits or MailChimp?
No, so what you're asking is what newsletter platform I'm using, and I'm using MailerLite at the moment. I wouldn't say this is necessarily the best one, but I found it to be the simplest. It had some great deals for getting started, and just like with getting these videos on YouTube before I had the right camera or the right mic or anything, I just need sometimes with getting this started the lowest friction option. So I started on MailerLite. I've continued to grow on it, but the one that I'm very interested in is Beehive right now. And the reason for that is because the big creators that I follow and the newsletters that I get from them all seem to come from Beehive, and they have a lot of options at the bottom that are like lead magnets, where if you share the email, you'll get X hacks to whatever, like this extra download. So it gives a lot of social sharing elements to it that I don't see MailerLite has at the moment. But I do like it, I do recommend it. It's quite simple and it's been good. And you can export your list of email subscribers from whichever tool you end up using. So you can always keep that, take it with you, and move it to a new email platform in the future.
Okay, thanks. One more, related to you mentioned that you're not doing shorts yet, right? But you're looking at, you mentioned your editor to help you with that, but have you looked at any AI platforms to help generate viral shorts from your long form videos?
Yeah, so in terms of AI platforms to generate shorts from my long form videos, I was previously using Opus Clips, if you're familiar with that one.
I haven't heard of that yet.
No.
Just use video AI.
Video AI.
They've started to do it.
No, okay. I haven't looked into it too much, and I actually think YouTube has its own like shorts clipping feature as well. But I kind of tried doing this back a couple years ago, and when I was doing it, I realized that my shorts were kind of okay, and I was getting them out there, but they weren't gaining a lot of traction, and the platform has changed a lot from then, so this could work now. But because I have an editor, and because I have this system set up with 11 labs where I can recreate anything that's going to be like a really solid hook, a really solid full story within the 30 to 1 minute time frame, I feel like it's just a better strategy to have a better chance since I have these things in place. If I didn't, and I was seeing that wall of shorts like I am today, I'd probably use the YouTube in platform feature to chop them up before going to another AI tool.
Related to that, would you do the book yourself, or would you do the whole thing with 11 labs?
No, so 11 labs, I just paste my script into it. And the question was, would I do the hooks in 11 labs?
Now, would you do the hook as a talking head?
Oh, okay. Would I do the hook as a talking head? Yes, I think I will. Even if, because I have this plan in place now, the next time that I sit down to film my long form videos, I'm likely going to film those hooks for the shorts as well. Because I'm here right now, I don't have my camera with me, I'm going to recycle things that I have as talking heads from the videos, and because I have 8 videos of talking head stuff that I could pull from, it doesn't have to be the specific video that I'm transitioning or driving traffic to that short to. I have enough to pick from, but in the future, I'm going to use Poppy to create my hooks based on the resources that are in there that it can pull from, and then I will film that initial talking head section and probably the outro of the short. Unique.
So Poppy has become a game changer for you, has it?
Absolutely. And the thing is that there's a million AI tools. They're continuously coming out with more. I swear, every day I sit down at my computer and I'm like, oh, I just heard about this and I really want to try it and I want to look it up and I want to play with it. And I have to stop. I can't. I have to have a very specific use case in my mind of how I'm going to use the AI tool in that day, in that moment, if I pull it up and start exploring it. Because otherwise I go down these endless rabbit holes of exploring things, trying things, half setting something up, and then never using it, forgetting about it. So Poppy is the one that I ended up sticking with because it gave me that flexibility to pull resources from the courses I was taking, things I was seeing on Instagram, the official website sources. It just gave me everything in one place, and I could set up these systems that I was able to rinse and repeat, reuse. So that's been extremely useful. I'm sure you could set up a custom GPT. You could probably set something up in Gemini. Gems, I think they're called. It's just Poppy is what worked for me, and it had all those tools built into one subscription. Yeah.
I'm also doing something that's aimed at older people, so this is really interesting. But I started, my main audience has been on TikTok, and I've been repurposing those videos onto YouTube, which have come out as shorts. So I've now got 850 shorts on YouTube, but it's a mess. And it looks like a mess, frankly, because I haven't really focused on doing everything that you've just described. So now I'm working at cleaning it up and doing more focus on YouTube. Would you delist the videos that responded poorly and just focus on the ones that did well and then just refilm them?
No. No, even if I was going to refilm them and put them back out there, I mean, if they did poorly the first time, I'm not going to refilm the exact same thing.
No, I'm saying, should I delist? I've got 850 videos. It looks messy. So should I delist the ones as I'm rebuilding the platform to make it look more polished? Should I gradually be, not deleting, because I've been told that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Just delisting the ones that are getting 40, 50 views, because I've got 500,000 views on one, 10,000, 12,000, you know, good numbers, I'm making money, but the poorly viewed videos, is there any point in them being there?
I don't think it matters. This question on whether you should delete or unlist videos, at many of the different conferences I've gone to, Vid Summit, it was addressed this fall as well. And I think it's John Yushai, one of the big creators who helps other creators. He was saying definitely do not delete. Yeah, so that's easy. But then in terms of listing it or delisting it, if it's getting 40 views, no one's really seeing it anyway. Who's really going on your channel and scrolling down and being like, this is messy? It's just, it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference if you unlist them or don't. Personally, I just would leave them there. Yeah, and then moving forward, create in the style that is working and have more and more consistency with that. So you're telling the algorithm, this is the audience that I'm going for, this is the content I create, and try to be as consistent as possible in that direction so they know who to serve your content to.
Yeah, and my quick second question is, how much money do you spend on all these software tools every month?
Oh, it's actually not bad. Under $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, my whole team as well. In 2025, it was under $3,000 a month for everything, the entire team and the software.
Okay.
Very lean team. But the side note with that is that everything still funnels through me. I'm still the strategy. I'm still the absolute bottleneck. You know, tonight I had a lot of tummy troubles overnight. I'm really not feeling well, but I need to get thumbnails and a video out this weekend, because if I don't, the team isn't going to do that. I'm still directing everything. So there needs to be a big change, and I definitely need to invest more back into the channel. And that was a big learning lesson actually from 2025, and a big change that I'm working on making now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm letting go of the control.
Yeah.
With your shorts, my question is, you were saying about a hook at the end of it. Are you then, the purpose of your shorts is not to push them back to your long form, is to push them to a separate location for like your infographic, or what's your plan with that?
It will be to push back to the video.
Okay.
So it's trying to get, since I'm not showing up in browse the way that I was before, and I'm not getting visibility there, the goal would be to get visibility on that wall of shorts. So someone can watch my video, be introduced to my channel, and then either go directly to the video that it's linked to for more information, or just be tied back to my channel to subscribe or see other content on it. So it's for the visibility.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was interested, could you, from your perspective, what's the most important factor to have long-term sponsorship? Like for the sponsorship, so what's the most important thing to get more, like what you say, you will have an annual contract with them or something?
Yeah. So I completely Shane wants me to speak. Okay. You're asking about the long-term, yes, what's the most important factor to having long-term sponsors? Originally, when I was working with sponsors, I think you might have been at my last talk, but I gave the example where I was negotiating with these Chinese companies, and I would be like, no, I'll only do it for $250, and they're like, $225, right? And this is how I'm spending my emails back and forth when I'm initially starting to work with sponsors. So I kind of decided, okay, until I have like bigger things, right now I'm gonna work on building the trust with the audience so that when I go to sponsors, I have like a good package for them. The biggest thing with working with long-term sponsors is before I pitch them on long-term packages, instead of pitching them on one-off videos, because as I mentioned earlier, oftentimes one-offs don't work very well, so the brand is not going to be that happy. It's not great for your audience, it's not great for conversions, and it's also a lot of work to do one-off sponsorships as opposed to when you know the brand and you know the selling points for them. So I started just, if there was a company I wanted to work with, I started to just implement them in my videos. So I would randomly like shout out one of their products and say the link is in description, something that I'm actually actively using. I would make sure that was a tracking link. And then once I got that data, I would go to the brand, and I didn't know the sales they got, but I said, hey, look, I shouted you out here for 10 seconds and we got 10,000 clicks on this link. Like, there's something here. I'd love to work with you on a 3-video package. I can share with you like what we've done with other partners, how it works, and just try to give them like an easy yes or no about what's going to be included and what would be needed from their end. And the most important thing in building these long-term relationships was not being desperate for any of the sponsorships. I held firm on my rates. At the beginning of last year, I decided, depending on what the affiliate split was going to be, every 60-second integration was going to be between $10,000 and $15,000. And I was like, okay, these are big numbers. I don't know if I can get this. These partners, I've worked with them before. They've never paid that much for an integration. But I started packaging things like the newsletter, the videos, the links in the description across all videos, exclusivity, like different things. So I just had a list of what was going to be included. And then I always gave them an out. Like, if we're 3 videos into this annual deal that we have and you don't want to continue, that's completely okay. Because if they're not getting the return on it, the audience also is not enjoying that content. They're not buying. It's not a fit. And then I don't want to be trying to force something that isn't working. So I always gave them an out. I wasn't desperate. I said what the rates were. It's professional. It's not an emotional relationship. This is what it is. If you don't want it this time, maybe we'll align better next time. There's no hard feelings. I always get on a call with them and actually meet who I'm speaking with. So we realize it's human to human. It's not just how many views and or whatever with that sense. So long-term deals, not being desperate, and having multiple metrics for them to look at as well in terms of like the views it's getting, the retention. A lot of my integrations have high retention over them, when with a lot of creators, when you have a sponsorship segment, people skip over it. So you see this huge gap. I try to make them more fun so that we have at least steady or sometimes even like a little bit higher retention in those segments. So I'm sending over all of this information so they're seeing more than just how many views did the video get or how many sales did this directly lead to. So yeah, it's a very communicative, long-term deals, and doing it in a professional presentation way, often after a meeting, as opposed to just giving them a quote and then letting there be flexibility.
You mentioned that you have I don't know, I think 8 talking head videos, and then you integrate them somehow in the package. So do you take you're really talking, or do you have some AI doing this? The talking head, and if it's AI, what's the software?
Oh, okay. So what you're asking is, the talking head sections of my video, are they actually me?
Yeah.
Or is it an AI bot? No, it's me. Yeah, I think at some point, there's some channels that I've seen that are blowing up, and the people look so real, and I'm like, wait a second. I think it's AI. Like some of the AI influencers on Instagram, and you truly think they're real people. So maybe we'll get to a point where there's someone, it's AI bot that's fully doing my channel. I think many channels are going to be at that, but I think it would take a lot for me to make that transition, even if the software was fantastic, because I'm kind of quirky. I kind of enjoy it. I don't think I want to be that removed from the entire process.
So you're still talking through it and then using 11 Labs to voice over the video?
No. So the question is if I'm still talking through the whole video and then using 11 Labs to voice over. No. I have about 2 minutes of talking head sections that I will insert into the video, and the rest of it is voiceover that gets run.
Oh, right.
It gets run as text to speech in 11 Labs.
And then it's usually some other graphics or
Yep.
videos.
It's stock footage and it's lists. Because with this audience too, they like to see a lot of the words on the screen as well as the official information on the screen, so that works out well for me.
Yeah, I guess I have 2 questions. One is, when you say retention, what's an average view duration that you're targeting? Like, is 50% good? I mean, obviously 100% is the goal, but is there an area or range you want to stay in?
Yeah, so across my videos, it's pretty standard. I often will lose between 20 and 30% within the first minute, and then I'm hoping pretty much the rest of the line is going to be decently flat. By the end of it, my aim is to still have 50% retention. 50%. And it depends, because sometimes I'll have a lot lower retention, which is why I don't necessarily have a target range. I might have a lot lower retention, but the video reached a much wider audience, right? If it's reaching a small audience that knows me, that knows my content, that knows what to expect, they'll stay through the whole video. But maybe a new audience member that just found my channel wouldn't. So the video gets 100,000 views instead of 10,000 views, but the retention is a lot lower, and I'm okay with that.
And then with the stock videos, do you have a recommendation? Do you like story blocks or art list? And are you doing the whole like keeping clips 2 to 3 seconds or running long?
Yep, so I use story blocks. I don't know if it's the best. They're continuously adding new things. I don't love it. I'd love other options. I might check out art list as well. Story blocks is the one that's linked on here. And I have a guide with my editors where we don't use a single stock footage for more than 4 seconds. And that's the same with any of my talking head footage. If it's just on me and it's been 4 seconds, we better have like some movement going on. Yeah?
At what point did you start monetization, and at what point did you start outsourcing the employments?
So the question is, at what point did I start monetization, and at what point did I start outsourcing and hiring and building out my team? So monetization happened for me actually just before the pandemic in 2019. I had one video that ended up taking off. It got 2,000 views. But that video over time ended up being the one that got me monetized. So it was back in 2019, and that first 5 cents that AdSense paid me was like the most game-changing 5 cents I've ever gotten in my life. I was like, okay, like there is something here. And then the pandemic happened. Like, okay, try being a travel channel through the pandemic. Maybe some of you relate. It sucked. So I basically just like stopped. It was half-assed my publishing. I was still working for another company at the time, a tech company remotely. So the channel took a bit of a back burner. But when I went back to it in 2022, I still had that monetization status from 2019. And I was able to like start quickly growing on that. And that became, within the first year, $100 a month. And then slowly kept going up to what was my biggest month was almost 50,000 in 1 month from AdSense back in February 2025 of this year, last year. In terms of hiring out the team, I actually hired an editor quite quickly. It was as soon as I was earning enough with the AdSense, that's when I started outsourcing to an editor. I found him on Upwork, and it's still the same editor, one of the two, that I'm working with today. So he was a newer editor, but he was willing to learn from Pakistan. And he ended up, by having such consistent work through my videos and then my recommendations to other creators, he's now built out a team of 15 people under him, and he has his whole business going too. So I still have a relationship with him, but I was paying $40 per video edit at the time. So yeah, it was right as soon as I decided I was going to be consistent, I needed help to be consistent. Yeah?
Quick question. One call to action at the end of each video, and is it just subscribe to my channel, or do you think it's possible to do 2, like subscribe to my channel and sign up for my newsletter?
The question is if you should have more than one. Yeah, how many calls to action to have? I think 1. But generally at the end of mine, I say like, don't forget to hit subscribe to join Ollie and I back here for more videos, and we'll see you next week. So I always have something like that. It's the same at the end of every video. And the call to action that I actually care about is happening a lot sooner. It's not happening right at the beginning because I maybe haven't built the trust yet with the viewer for them to actually want to click on whatever it is that I'm promoting. But it's going to be somewhere between 1/3 and halfway through. I'm going to do a very specific call out to a lead magnet that directly ties to the video, or I'm doing a very specific call out to my, my sponsor. And something else with the call out as well, with this older audience, I found from my analytics that half of the seniors that are watching my videos are watching it on their TV. So this is fantastic for things like watch time. But the other thing is that if they're not on their phone, like they don't have the link to click, they're not going into the description, so I'm putting QR codes up. And I'll say like, just scan the QR code here, and I'll leave it on through the duration of the sponsorship. And once I started doing that, oh my goodness, it was like a night and day change in the results that I was able to get from my sponsor. So it's the pinned comment, it's the top link in the description, It's the QR code on the screen, and then YouTube also has a cards feature, so you can add a card, and it comes up as like a little dot in the corner, and if someone clicks on that, they can get to the link immediately. Because another thing is, that I didn't realize with my audience, is they don't know how to get to the description. Like, I get these comments, you say in the description, like I don't see it. You have to click. So I was putting one call to action somewhere between a third and halfway through, but then I have all these different ways that you can access it. Okay, yeah?
Okay, three questions that you are afraid to hear. How many hours do you spend on editing videos now, let's say, and comparing to 5 years ago?
Okay, the question.
Creating all the videos.
Yeah, so it's how much time do I spend creating the videos, one video now versus 5 years ago. Okay, again, 80% of my video creation comes at the very beginning phase before I've done any filming, before I've done anything with it, and that's the title and the thumbnail. Previously, I think I spent less time doing it because I had less access to tools and I knew a lot less. So I would just come up with a title and a thumbnail and then ship the video. It would take me way longer to script and to film and to edit and to work with the editor. So I would say it would take me the majority of the week, the hours that I was working on one video. Now I can do 3 videos usually in a week. I can get those 8 scripts that I'm going to sit down and film, since I batch everything. So I will spend one set of 4 days just getting all those scripts ready. I'll spend one day getting everything filmed through 11 Labs and uploaded. And then over the next couple of weeks, the editors will just be working on them in the background behind the scenes. So it's kind of hard to say how much time I spend on a single video. Everything is a lot easier now, but I also have a lot more decision fatigue. I have so many inputs, right? You guys see this whole process. There's so many different things. There's just so much information that you can pull from that sometimes it's hard to make a decision, or you're questioning a list of 25 really good titles. Like, how do you pick one? So I spend a lot of time like feeling frustrated and sometimes wishing that I had fewer inputs in that sense, but then having the team has sped everything up so much, and the batching, being able to do that now, I didn't do that before. I would script one video, film one video, edit one video, get it up. Now getting 8 in a row is game-changing.
Also noticed that you started your channel 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, and that time were you already full-time YouTuber, or you were also working full-time?
Yeah, so the question is when I became a full-time YouTuber, and no, I became a full-time YouTuber 2 years ago actually. So I was still working for an insurtech company that was based in San Francisco, and I was working for them remotely in a B2B tech job, and I stayed with them up until middle of 2023 because I needed my YouTube income. This was a metric I made up for myself. I needed my YouTube income to surpass for an entire year my tech salary before I felt okay leaving that job. I was always like very type A, and I didn't know that people could become YouTubers or make money. I felt embarrassed to define myself that way. I'm not an influencer or a YouTuber. Like, I don't know. Like, how do I talk about myself in rooms in government town of Ottawa, Canada, where I live, right? So I had insecurities around it, and I needed like solid metrics for myself. I also thought that, okay, right now I'm earning this on YouTube, and I'm earning this from my job. I lose my job, I'm just earning this. But this happened. It absolutely exploded once I was able to put my time and attention fully onto it. And the last 2 years have been amazing, and I should have done it sooner.
But from the beginning, your goal was to be a full-time YouTuber and to
No.
be consistent once a week videos?
No.
So
No.
what was the turning point in your attitude?
The turning point was making a lot of money on YouTube. I was a remote career coach. I launched so many random different things on the side while I was working these corporate jobs as well. And this was just the one that stuck. Again, it could have been anything else. It just started making money. And even when it was starting to gain traction in 2022, early 2023, like I didn't know that someone could be a full-time YouTuber, and I didn't understand all of the ways that you could monetize with it. I thought it was just AdSense. So no, my goal was never to be a full-time YouTuber. And if 5 years ago someone told me this is what would have happened, I could never have predicted it. I just followed what was working and kept doing it.
Have you had issues with the psychological aspect of it, like the grind, depression, anything like that? Because I go through ups and downs with it all the time.
Yeah, so the question is if I have any challenges with depression or I like psychological issues with this business, the views, the grind of it. And I think absolutely. I think anyone that has anything, whether it's a business or a creative project, anything that you care about, that you like pour yourself into, that you define yourself by, that has great results sometimes and poor results other times, and sometimes you have zero control. You can work your hardest on it and it can flop. It's really challenging, and the YouTube Studio platform doesn't help with that either. You get a video uploaded, and if it does well, you get fireworks, all of this stuff. If it doesn't, you get nothing. It tells you. This video is a 10 out of 10, as in it's the 10th place worst performer out of your last 10 videos. So it's always giving you inputs to help you improve, right? And to encourage you and to motivate you. But it's hard, and it's the same way with social media, where it gives us dopamine hits and we're chasing likes, but then you don't get them. And it's like gambling. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So again, not just YouTube. Yes, I've absolutely struggled with it. It's been a big struggle over the last 6 months with my views not being where they are, with this algorithm change, and not recognizing this change is impacting it, and some of it's out of my control, and wondering, whoa, how is this going to impact sponsors? What's going to happen? And by the way, my sponsors are amazing because they've been long-term with the channel for the last 2 years, and they're okay that the views are down. They're getting their conversions through my newsletter right now, you know? But it's still the vanity metrics that I see, even if no one else is really looking at them, and I feel like an imposter. Oh, my video only got 22,000 views last week. Why am I giving this talk right now? You know? So there's big ups and downs, and the thing that I have found to be the absolute most helpful is, number one, talking about it, and talking about it with other creators, because it is extremely validating. I'm in a YouTube mastermind. It was just friends that we put together, all in the same niche. They're all around the same size creators on YouTube that I am. And we meet every 2 weeks for 2 hours, and we just go over what's working, what's not working, and we share tips. And I often don't even feel like getting on the call. And every time I walk away feeling so much better, because it's like, oh, the fact I obsessed over this thumbnail and title and was so upset that this is still not working and I spent so much time on it, it's like they're doing the same thing. So we help each other, and it just makes you realize it's all okay and it's not that serious. So I would say the biggest thing, if you are struggling with it as well, is having other creators around you that you can talk about with this, and realizing it is all of us.
I find it really hard to find creators that stay the distance. That people get really excited about mastermind groups, and then they drop off it. It's really hard to find someone that wants to play at the same level month after month. So.
This is a good place to find it. And then also, if there's other creators in your niche that are at a similar level as you are, and you see that they're consistently publishing and posting, reach out to them.
Yeah, especially with that new, you can connect.
The collaboration.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited to start tapping into that, because it's truly a way with these collaborations to share audiences. If you know someone is reaching the same person as you, you're helping out their audience by introducing them to your content, right? So I think YouTube is not a zero-sum game. We can all help each other grow. I call them competitors, the other ones that are in my mastermind group. But honestly, if one of my competitors is getting a lot of views on their video, I check my views, and a lot of my traffic is coming from their video. So it just raises all of us up.